Why is it a good idea to freeze bread? Most people don't know. Whether as a toast in the morning or a snack in the afternoon, bread is part of the daily diet for many people. But what few realize is that there is a very simple trick that can make it healthier: freezing it before eating. Yes, it's that easy. This small action can make a big difference for those who want to take care of their health. Today, we're going to show you how to apply this technique step by step and explain why it works. Before we start, tell us in the comments how old you are and from which city you're watching. Your participation is important and helps us create more useful content for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to receive more health and wellness tips that can make a big difference in your life and the lives of your loved ones. Let's get started. Why isn't bread always the best choice? Bread is a staple food in many diets around the world, but it's not always the best option, especially for people with diabetes or those wanting to keep their blood sugar levels stable. The main reason lies in the composition of conventional bread, which is usually made with refined flour. This type of flour undergoes a process that removes most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals originally found in whole grains. By losing these fibers and nutrients, bread becomes mainly composed of simple carbohydrates or rapidly absorbed starches, which the body digests quickly and turns into glucose at a fast rate. This causes a sharp rise in blood sugar, known as a glucose spike. To counteract this increase, the pancreas releases large amounts of insulin to transport glucose into cells and lower blood sugar levels. This repetitive cycle of sugar spikes and drops can have long-term negative effects. It doesn't just affect people with diabetes but can also increase the risk of developing insulin resistance, obesity, cardiovascular diseases, chronic inflammation, and other metabolic disorders related to poor glucose management. Moreover, frequent consumption of refined bread can cause energy fluctuations, quick hunger, and digestive problems since the lack of fiber hinders slow and healthy digestion. What changes when you freeze it? Here's where a surprising trick comes in. Freezing bread before consuming it can positively change its impact on our bodies. When we freeze bread, the starch structure inside it changes at the molecular level, leading to the formation of what is known as resistant starch. Resistant starch is a type of carbohydrate that isn't digested in the small intestine but passes to the large intestine, where it acts similarly to dietary fiber. Thanks to this, glucose is released much more slowly and gradually into the bloodstream, avoiding those sharp sugar spikes that harm metabolic health. Scientific research has shown that this simple process can reduce the glycemic index of bread by up to 39% compared to fresh bread. This means freezing bread not only helps better control blood sugar levels but can also be a valuable ally for those seeking to prevent or manage metabolic diseases. Additionally, resistant starch feeds the beneficial bacteria in our gut, promoting a healthy intestinal microbiome. This not only improves digestion but also supports metabolism regulation, immune response, and the absorption of essential nutrients. Even better, freeze then toast. But the transformation doesn't stop there. If after thawing the bread you decide to toast it, you'll enhance these health benefits even more. Toasting causes a further reorganization of the starch molecules, increasing the amount of resistant starch present. This second step makes the bread even harder to digest quickly, resulting in an even slower and more stable release of glucose. Besides being healthy, toasting bread also improves its texture and flavor, giving it a crispy, delicious touch that many love. This combination of freezing and toasting turns bread into a much smarter option to care for metabolic health, especially for people over 50 years old, when metabolism tends to slow down and stable energy levels are essential for daily well-being. How to properly freeze bread. Choose fresh, sliced bread, as it will be easier to handle. Wrap it in plastic wrap or place it in airtight freezer bags, removing as much air as possible to prevent freezer burn. You can keep it in the freezer for up to 3 months. Defrosting bread is also simple. At room temperature, let it sit wrapped for 1 to 2 hours. In the microwave, 15 to 20 seconds with a damp paper towel on top. In the oven, 10 to 15 minutes at 150 degrees Celsius 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Final toasting. In a toaster, quick and convenient. In the oven, 5 to 10 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius 350 degrees Fahrenheit, flipping the slices halfway through. In a pan, 1 to 2 minutes per side over medium heat. You can apply this process to different types of bread, whole wheat, oat, rye, sprouted grains, among others. What if we apply this technique to other foods? You can The same principle works with rice and potatoes, two common foods that also raise blood sugar quickly. For rice, cook it as usual, white, brown, or parboiled. Let it cool for 10 to 15 minutes, then refrigerate for at least 12 hours. Afterwards, freeze it in individual portions for up to 3 months. To consume, reheat in the microwave, pan, or oven. Do not refreeze after thawing. For potatoes, steam, boil, or bake them without letting them fall apart. Cool and refrigerate for 12 hours. You can eat them cold, in salads, or freeze them for later. When reheating, use the microwave, pan, or oven. Avoid refreezing once thawed. Additional tips to keep blood sugar stable. Never eat carbohydrates alone. Pair them with proteins, egg, fish, legumes that slow digestion. Fibers, vegetables, whole fruits, whole grains that act as natural barriers. Healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, nuts that balance glucose absorption. Walk after eating. A 15 to 30-minute walk is enough to help muscles use glucose as energy, improving insulin sensitivity and preventing sugar spikes. Conclusion. Small changes, like freezing bread or rice, better combining foods, or walking after meals, can have a huge impact on your health. It's not about eliminating foods but learning to prepare them smarter. And that's it for today's video. Now tell me, did you already know that freezing bread makes it healthier? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found this content helpful, share it with your friends and family. Maybe someone close to you needs this information too. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving valuable info that can transform your daily life. See you in the next video.